And out come the Dragons. This forward pack has really put themselves on the map in regards to origin berths potentially to this year's series. And two very interested observers beside me in the commentary box today, the Queensland coach in Kevy Walters, and of course the consultant, the head of coaching for New South Wales, Greg Alexander. What is your title?
I think it's officially the Blues advisor. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, well, just watch your notes today, Greg, because I'm keeping a close eye on them, mate. He's chuckling away. He's not saying anything. But
Tariq Sims, he's certainly one player to keep an eye on. What a job he did last week against the Roosters, and Cooper Cronk with his kick chasing, in particular getting out, putting pressure on Cronk, and it will be the same story again here today.
He's been strong on the left edge.
Can you turn Ash down a bit? Turn Ash down a bit. Thanks, fellas. Going your way, Ricky.
Cameron McInnes. In from New South Wales hooker. He is in the mix, along with the likes of Damien Cook. We're underway, the Dragons and the Storm, and it's Christian Welch in their starting role, wearing the number 8 jersey today, with Bromwich to the return, and a mistake from Nelson Asafa Solomona on the second play of the game.
Well, we just spoke about their ball control, and that's part of the game that they fixed up over the last 3 weeks. We've just seen them run in so many points, and Solomona just didn't get his hands to it. Just looking at the Dragons' defence, moving pretty quickly.
They scored in the opening 60 seconds last week on Anzac Day against the Roosters. They get a chance here with their first set from inside the 20. Widdop waits at dummy half. Comes across to DeBellin. We'll play it here 5 metres out from the Storm line. McInnes looking back to his left-hand side. Goes to Widdop instead on that open right-hand side. Hunt, a long ball. It goes out to Nightingale. Stopped there by Adokar, and also Justin Ollam, the 24-year-old Papua New Guinean, on debut here today, with Curtis Scott out of the team with that ankle injury suffered against the Warriors
Cameron, make the line, mate.
just 11 days ago. Frizzell will play it. McInnes, it comes to Graham. Works it towards the uprights. A pass there for DeBellin. He knocked it on. The pressure is off the Storm, and Slater has it.
There's half a chance there. Graham got his arms free, just changed the angle of his run and got in between the 2 Melbourne Storm defenders, which allowed him to get that arm free. If DeBellin was a yard deeper, it could have been trouble for the Melbourne Storm.
I'll play it here, 20 short of the halfway line. It goes to Kenny Bromwich. The starting side today. A change made by Craig Bellamy before kickoff as it comes out to Kafusi. Will Chambers. He was tremendous last week against the Warriors on that right-hand side. As it goes to Vunivalu from dummy half, back in the team today after missing that game against the Warriors on Anzac Day evening. He's returning from a hamstring strain, has that left knee heavily taped, but that is pretty much what happens every game with Vunivalu. He chases out and grabs McDonald. What a contest that will be today between the two of them.
yeah, even on this right edge with Tim Laffey and Chambers, what a matchup that is as well. We've got one-on-ones everywhere basically across the field. Some real talent on show here today from both teams.
Sims trying to spin away from the first contact, brings it back to the halfway line. He'll play it for McInnes. Goes across to Vaughan, who runs towards Smith. Catching motion, he takes him to ground just outside the 40. And now Ben Hunt, what a season he's had. 2018 so far in the Red V. The kick goes down to Vunivalu, and they'll stop him just outside the Melbourne 20. In the corresponding game last season, off the back of the Anzac Day encounters, Melbourne blitzed the Dragons down in Wollongong. It was a first half onslaught. And this is a very different Dragons team in 2018. They've come a long way. So is this man, Adokar, running towards Dufty. He takes him down with some help there from Nightingale. They'll play it at the 30. A quick shift through the hands to Slater. Comes out to Riley Jacks, running towards Tariq Sims, who makes a jolting tackle. Tackles up their sleeve here as it goes to Slater at first receiver. He's been playing a lot of that this season, especially since Brodie Croft has been relegated to the Q Cup and Jacks has taken over at halfback. Smith, Munster, last play here. They need something. It's Slater. They put a kick in for a try last week. That, by Billy's high standards, is an absolute shack.
Well, he doesn't have to do much kicking, but you're right, was put it on the spot last week for a Melbourne Storm try. That was a long way from his best. It was a Justin Olam offload that got things started in that set for the Melbourne Storm. With him, Munster and Addo Carr down that left side. Just getting in behind the Dragons' defence. And, of course, Justin Olam on debut. At that left side for the Melbourne Storm. Sims gets it up to halfway.
Play it here for McInnes. Goes to Graham. Goes towards Bromwich. Welch slides down around the legs. And Asava Solomona a hand on the head, which the locals don't like. Come to the left-hand side. Cut out ball from Widdop. McDonald down the sideline. Kicks over the top of Slater. A chase. Widdop is there. Slater wins the race. And the former Melbourne Storm star, now Dragon 5'8", was right on his hammer as Billy picked up that ball.
A nice little set play down that short side there, and Hunt threw a long ball to Nene McDonald, got into some space, but the cover was coming. Clever kick, but cleaned up by Slater well.
Replay's gone here, and they're only just outside their 10, make that 4 tackles gone, and they're 15 out from their own line. Then a good carry here. Welch not thinking about an offload. Great pressure from the Dragons defensively. The kick will come from inside their own 20. It comes from Riley Jacks with the left boot. He hooks it downfield. Not a bad strike, really, under the pressure that he was. And Duffy turns it away for Nightingale to take it back into Melbourne territory.
Boys keeping an eye on this man, James Graham, in back play after that last defensive set and the last contact, really battling.
And he had his moments last week as well where he was battling against the Roosters. And, of course, if you cast your mind back to last season with the Bulldogs, he did have a neck and shoulder issue. And I just wonder if that has flared up in the recent weeks, because there's no doubt he was feeling it last week, and it looks like again here today.
I thought last week it was very similar circumstances that saw him hit the ground. Maybe some pressure on a kick-up, contact with the kicker, and then he struggled to get himself back in the defensive line, and very similar today.
Dragons opting to have a shot at goal here. Not surprising, really. I think there's going to be a lot of points and tries on offer today. Already in the opening 8 minutes, we've seen 2 line breaks from both teams. So up those short sides, which we know that Hunt likes to get up. Also Slater and co. So some good football early.
Doesn't muck around Gareth Widdop, and the strike is superb. What a kick. 35 metres out, he makes it a 2-0 scoreline here with the crowd just still pouring in to the hill. We'll be close to a full house by the time we get to the midpoint of this first half.
Reece, Ricky, anything to add, fellas?
I don't know if there's a slight breeze down there. I don't know if it's anything really worthwhile. Maybe Andy can fill us in about whether it's favouring one side or the other.
Only a really slight breeze, Greg. Probably just favouring over the right shoulder of the Storm for the opening 40 minutes.
It's a nor'easter, given the warm conditions we've had through this amazing autumn here in Sydney. Graham shaking off that knock to the shoulder or the neck. Takes the carry, and McDonald follows him. And they'll play a 25 short of the halfway line. It's been tight in the opening exchanges, just as you would have expected. Here's Asava Solomona getting off his line quickly. The contact, though, was high on McInnes. Widdop quickly wants to find the line. And in the mood to play an up-tempo style of game here today, St George Illawarra. It's Tarek Sims. What a tremendous opening 8 rounds of the season he has had. Graham, not a great ball there from McInnes. And Graham is set upon there by Welsh. He was a sitting duck. Keep it going to the right-hand side with Paul Vaughan work it up inside the Melbourne 20. They'll hold him off the ground. Solomona and Ryan Hoffman have him by an arm each. Now a kick in behind them. Hunt putting pressure here on Addo-Carr. There's no way back for the Fox.
Well, so many sides employing that tactic when they find the fullbacks up in the line. There's Billy Slater up in the defensive line. Ben Hunt realised it. Addo-Carr was very quick to recover and react to the kick. Got himself there, but Hunt's kick got the weight right and they get the ball back.
And that is more and more the tactic, isn't it, Kevy? Run towards the fullback and kick over the top of him, taking him out of the equation.
Yeah, it's a good tactic as well. Addo-Carr had to be on the money there or Hunt would have swooped. Good tactics from the Dragons, just putting a second mind into the Storm and the way they defend. Get another chance here.
The way teams approach that attacking kick really has evolved, especially in 2018. Here is DeBella. Work over the top again from Asifa Solomona at the death in the tackle. McInnes finds Widdop. A chance on this right-hand side. Hunt showing it. Cutting back through the line. They're in. They've scored through Ewan Aitken. He got there. They don't need to check it. And Aitken grabs his 6th try of this season.
He's in career best form, and it's only a very young career, but what a first 8 rounds he's had of the competition. It was the work on the inside. Cameron McInnes just dragging in the defence, just squaring them up ever so slightly. That had them sliding. You don't want to be sliding in that sort of situation. You want to be coming up and in, but they had to slide because they thought they were outnumbered. Backpedaling they are. And then Hunt hits the flat runner who gets in between the defenders, outstretches the arm. Good 4-pointer, much deserved off the back of a repeat set.
Yeah, it was a go-to play from the Dragons, wasn't it? We often see that Widdop onto Hunt, and then Hunt gets across the ground really quickly. And Aitken, as strong as anyone close to the line there, got to be on your game. Just a little bit of an opening there for him to just stick his nose through, and he reached out and finished it off. Been in great touch for the Dragons. That right edge is quite lethal when you throw in Hunt and everyone else out there. It's a pretty formidable lineup.
Kick from Widdop again splits the uprights. What an opening on this famous patch of rugby league turf. The Dragons led it 8 points to 0, Andy.
Yeah, very good start for the Dragons. I've got my eye firmly on Ben Hunt and also Cameron Munster. If we wind the clock back a few months, the World Cup campaign and the Aussie camp, these two bantamweights started throwing them at one another. All a little bit of fun. Corey Parker knows both of them very well, but what's your take on the opening 12 minutes?
Yeah, I think the opening 12 minutes have been superb from the home team. Definitely the crowd have turned up in their numbers. Really done their homework in starting to move the Melbourne ruck around. They get to an edge, they go down a short side. They just ask the Melbourne middle to have to fill up down those short sides, getting some real success.
It's Graham to bring it back off the restart.
Move now. Riley square.
Chambers out there putting pressure on him. So was Riley Jacks. McDonald, as is the pattern, takes the second carry. Brings it back to a midfield situation where McInnes will keep working to Paul Vaughan, looking for a bit of space in behind to play the ball. Penalty goal and a converted try. The blazing blue skies. The perfect setting as Frizzell works it forward, and he almost cracked them as well. They keep going through to Bellin now. And they're back at the halfway line. A pass was okay. Came off the ground, but the tackle had not been completed. Frizzell just outside the 40. Goes to Widdop, who puts it in the air. Standing underneath it, Vunivalu, pressure from Laffey. Neither of them got to it. McDonald cleaned it up. Widdop puts a second kick in. This one chasing through. Slater has to bat it out of play. And they've earned themselves another goal line dropout.
Well, didn't they make something out of that? Because it looked like it was a pretty easy take for Vunivalu. Tim Laffey really didn't look for the football there. No one touched it. Knocked back. McDonald picks the ball up. It could have even gone the Melbourne Storm's way as Laffey, I thought, just took Vunivalu out with any attempt to catch the footy, and then Slater has to knock the second kick by Widdop. How good is Widdop? The second kick was just on the money.
As it went to Slater, you thought he would catch it on the full, but he was under so much pressure from Laffey that he had to just taken out of play. And it was only a moment ago they scored through Ewan Aitken off the back of a goal line dropout when Ben Hunt forced the ball to go dead, with Addo-Carr taking it beyond the dead ball line. So here they are again. Guinness waiting, goes to Graham. And Sims back underneath, and there is space. The illusion of space in behind the play. The ball against Melbourne today. Vaughan trying to prove that theory. We'll play it here a couple of metres out. McInnes waits at dummy half. Chambers off the line, was offside. He will sprint away now. He realises. He has a look. He wants to go again, but he jumped the gun.
Chambers. Go on, Elder, mate.
Well, he knew the play, that he knew what was coming, and he probably just got a little bit too excited, Will Chambers. Knew the ball was going out the back. Let's just see. Needs to stay there until the ball clears the ruck. Gone. Steals it out of Ben Hunt's hand, but leaves early.
A good decision from the referees. We know that Chambers does like to come out of the line like that.
He'll be back in position by about 3:45.
He's not in any hurry, is he?
Interesting play there, guys, though, that Will Chambers coming off the line like that, trying to solve it himself, suggests that he doesn't have trust in what the process is out on this right-hand edge for them.
Well, he's lucky he got his hands on it, Corey, too, because the Dragons were lining up on the outside of him with Vunivalu posted on his own. They have had a lot of football, though.
Yeah.
The Melbourne Storm have been only able to get through 2 sets. The Dragons at the moment, with Widdop lining up to make it 10-0, are 8 from 9.
It's been their big men, hasn't it, through the middle and on the edges, that have just been punching holes in the Storm defence.
It actually touches him. So he's got him and goes back. Yeah, I think
Cameron
so.
Smith still asking the question about the contest off the first of the bombs. Widdop from beside the uprights makes it 10 points to 0. They can do no more than what they've done in this opening 15 minutes. The Dragons well on top here. They try and put to bed what happened in round 9 last year. Great start of the season. Narrow loss on Anzac Day in 2017, and then they were just blitzed by Melbourne. Well, they're returning the favour so far here today. Doing it off the back of 67% possession. Still 3 for Melbourne. The Storm need to get the ball in their hands, otherwise this game might be gone by the time we get to half-time. Aitken makes the catch in the in-goal area, and Vaughan is almost away, grabbed there just by Kafusi. Ed Sims bringing it forward. There is Asif Solomona over the top again. What a frame to run into.
Yeah, that was strange defence chasing that kickoff, because it was Kafusi who made a legs tackle on Paul Vaughan from the kickoff. That never happens.
Now Frizzell scouting out to the right-hand side. They'll play it just beyond the 40. Hunt gets to dummy half. Here is Nightingale. One more play here. Widdop is positioned out the back. It goes to Hunt on the right-hand side instead. He just hooks it back and kicks it straight to Vunivalu. You don't want to give him too much space to wind up.
Move now.
Turning from a hamstring strain, as we mentioned. He can go.
Move, fellas, together.
So could the man at dummy half off the back of the run by Olam. Addo-Carr from that end last week against the Warriors went 85 metres. Score down there at Amy Park. He plays it here, and Slater fires it to Munster. He goes to Smith. Now a shift. They've got some numbers here. Jacks, though, couldn't get it away. Good tackle by Laffey.
Boy, he needed to make it. They were outnumbered. The shift almost caught the Dragons short. Munster to Chambers, but they converge on him.
Play it just outside the 30 as Kafusi goes back to Munster. He was hit after the event. They're okay with the contact, and now Slater knocks it backwards. McDonald, in fact, they're going to say the touch back towards McDonald came off a Dragon. In fact, no, they're going to say there was an attack on the leg of the kicker.
because I thought I heard the call Melbourne when the ball was taken, and I thought Billy Slater made a play at the footy, but that's not the reason for the penalty. Quick tap for Nukin at the line.
A little signal there from Matt Checken, but we heard quite clearly that was for attacking the leg of the kicker. Here's Munster. Going to Slater. Cut out ball. It is the Fox. Josh Adokar gets Melbourne on the board, and it was pretty simple. Hands to that left-hand side.
Well, very slick from the Storm, wasn't it? Up for the challenge, the Melbourne Storm. It's their first opportunity. Here's the penalty coming in here. Well, probably just rewards. What do you think, Greg? Yeah.
Well, it was in the air. Yeah, he was in the air.
But this is the big play here. Munster onto Slater, and then the Fox. Well, you can't keep the Fox out of the game. Slick hands here from the Storm. It's their first real opportunity in this game, and they made the Dragons pay. Just the second tackle of that set of 6.
Yeah, they've played no football down this end, Kev, so that's a terrific result for the Melbourne Storm. Adokar flying Josh Adokar into the corner and then brings it, improves it slightly, and make the kick a bit easier for Cameron Smith.
Got some speed on those flanks, haven't they, when you get the hands through Munster and Slater and then onto Adokar. Likewise with the Dragons, some real speed men out there.
It's his 7th try in his past 3 and a bit games in this run of form for Melbourne. 9 tries this season in total.
Well, there's not many wingers that have played better or started the season in better form than Adokar.
And Cameron Smith, as well as Gareth Widdop, has been hitting them. Smith has been striking them nicely as well this season. He's hit the absolute top of the upright. The very point of it, wobbling around here in the breeze at Cogra. It remains 10 points to 4.
Josh Adokar made his debut with the West Tigers going back 2 seasons now. Always had the talent, Corey, always had the speed. The decision-making is the big improver.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's all eyes on Josh Adokar. Obviously, the sky blue jersey's up for grabs, but real worrying signs there for St George. The Melbourne Storm just have completed 4 sets in their first real opportunity down inside their 20, and they come up with points.
This Dragons army a little quieter than they were a moment ago off the back of the try by Adokar. Dale Finucane is back. It's the last 4 games through a thumb injury, which required a pin to be put in it. He wanted to return a couple of weeks ago. The medical staff have been holding him back until they were satisfied he was ready to go. He's out there now. Welsh to Munster. Cut out ball. Goes all the way across to Adokar. He puts the brakes on. He's got plenty of gears. And get to him before he can get it into 2nd gear just then. But he takes it back into Dragons territory. Olam from dummy half. Munster deep on this right-hand side. Munster takes them on as a result. And one more play here. Smith. We'll go to Riley Jacks, who puts it up. Vunivalu is only just onside. He's got position here against McDonald. It comes back to Chambers. Play on.
I got first knock on St George.
And the call is a knock on against the Dragons.
Yeah, I thought it was as well. I thought McDonald got his hands up there, and if anything, if there was a Melbourne touch, it went backwards.
Now there it is.
Well, instead, there's been an overrule between the 2 referees, and Chris Butler has said no, it was a knock on by Chambers on the tap back, and the Dragons get it.
Right.
Matt Checken quite clearly said knock on by Dragons.
And watching the replay, I thought that was the case.
Either way, St George Illawarra have it.
Kev, bit strange that one.
Yeah, it was, but it's got to get on with things that the Dragons certainly have, and the Storm. Plenty of collisions.
Just in that defensive set. He gets the ball away, Graham. Smith almost grabs it. Graham found himself on the ground again. Yeah, he's slow to get up. I don't know how much longer he'll be on the field, James Graham.
He is still on the turf at the moment. There was a definite touch there by Cameron Smith, not called by the referees, and Chris Butler, the pocket referee, was right there on top of it.
So was the touch judge.
They spoke about it, but they said no touch, play on. Widdop chasing through on Hunt's kick. He got a touch to that one and knocked it on. That was a very strange call back at this end of the field. A couple of moments there between the two referees where they seem to be not on the same page.
It wasn't strange, it was just wrong. Cameron Smith touched the ball. And here's the chip kick. But they were forced to play it through to tackle 5. Here it is here. Hard to tell from that angle. Hard to tell, but the side on camera showed us.
I think he pulled away from it when he knew he wasn't going to get a clean grab on it there, Smith. But a couple of funny decisions. That's forward that one.
Forward pass there from Slater to Hoffman. They're going to play on. No, they're not. And it was late in coming, but the call came from the touch judge on the far side of the field that pass was forward. Or did it? Looked like he was happy to play on the touch judge. I don't know who made it.
Well, he was right in line with it. He had good positioning there to call. Just a couple of little errors coming in. It's been a frantic pace, hasn't it, the game? This last 17 minutes or 16 minutes of this first half, very important for both teams.
A little bit of confusion from everyone out there. Officials, players, errors from the players. Officials not sure of which way they should be awarding the football.
Big game today, maybe some nerves amongst the officiating crew. You can't get better seeing conditions than what we have here today. Perfect May afternoon for football. And the league leaders up against the defending champs. At the moment, it's the Dragons on top, 10 points to 4. 16 out from half-time. McInnes down the short side, comes back to link up here with Vaughan. And he'll play it 30 metres out from the Melbourne line. They're set for a long right-hand side. Widdop waiting at first receiver. He goes wider still to Hunt, in behind Frizzell for Dufty. Aitken trying to get away from Munster, but Munster with plenty of speed is able to round him up. Well, one more tackle in this set. Goes to Hunt. Feeds it on for Widdop, who kicks towards Vunivalu again. I don't know that Maffei will get there in time. But he makes the tackle on Vunivalu, and they'll make Melbourne work it away from inside their own 10. Chambers with the carry. Possession still very much in favour of the home side at the moment.
Those 3 really quick play the balls, which allowed the Melbourne Storm to get themselves out of trouble there. Dummy half run, Slater and Addo-Carr.
Now a kick which will sit down, it looks like, or will it? No, it won't.
Boy.
They decided to go early.
Smith has got up injured there, boys. Just keep an eye on him.
Exactly right, Corey. Cameron Smith getting up limping. James Graham comes from the field. Wouldn't be a surprise if he goes to the dressing room. No, he goes just to the bench. He's happy with that shoulder. He knows exactly what he faces. Quite obviously, it doesn't need any further attention. But we'll keep our eyes here on Cameron Smith, who still looks a little bit proppy in the defensive line. He's not moving as freely as normal as he makes his way back defensively. McInnes to Vaughan, coming up quickly. Finucane didn't make the tackle on him. Hunt showing it. Goes out to Nightingale. Goes towards Addo-Carr, and they'll take him down just outside the 40. Aitken spinning a pass. Hunt to Frizzell to punch it forward. The Bellin takes it to the line, gives it to Widdop. Now there's a chance on this left-hand side as Maffei brushes away from the tackle there of Chambers. He doesn't miss too many, Will Chambers. And now Widdop puts it down. There's been some uncharacteristic mistakes from both teams so far in this one.
You never see that from Gareth Widdop. Bit of a wonky ball from dummy half. He had to wait for it. He won't be blaming that, but tried to do things a little too quickly there before the ball had actually got in his hands. Yeah, it is a terrific battle on this side between Maffei and the footwork of Maffei and the ability, the defensive ability of Will Chambers.
Cameron, hold! Hold!
Smith off the back of the scrum. Vunivalu, some space down this right-hand side. Had Chambers on his outside. He almost had the numbers off the back of the scrum. We're now slated down the short side again. Just like that, they're 40 out from the Dragons line. Vunivalu a double pump. He knocked it on. Got to say, so far, the standard from both teams hasn't been quite what you'd expect at a game of this build-up.
Well, it was a great start from both sides, but the last 10 minutes, and there's the error count. Melbourne 5, the Dragons 3. Nice little scrum play down this short side. Really had Melbourne on the front foot. Quick play the ball, they're at them again. Vunivalu just a bit complacent there at dummy half.
Yeah, well, he just took his eye off the ball, didn't he?
Jack, thank you. Hold, boys. Shot clock off. In. Out.
There's Duffy off the scrum. He heads out to the right-hand side. They might try and take him into touch. A turnover by St George Illawarra. Well, what is happening here today?
Okay, everyone's up, mate.
Well, we're struggling to get past tackle too. Addo-Carr does a great job there. Justin Olam also, but Addo-Carr, he's not a big man, Matt Duffy, and that's always the worry. Little player heading towards the sideline. Momentum's going that way. Addo-Carr just held him up and continued that momentum.
It's like the sideline's been shifted in 10 metres, isn't it, for the modern play, because once they get anywhere in that zone, the first thought process is, let's get this bloke out over the sideline, and that's what happened.
Another set play by the Storm. Slater took a shot there from Tariq Sims after passing to the right-hand side. He's okay. It's Addo-Carr who will go to dummy half. Brandon Smith is out there for the Melbourne Storm. Cameron Smith remains on the field. They'll play it inside the 30. Here's Munster, flat ball now. Left-hand side, good carry by Dale Finucane. Well tackled also by DeBellin and Hunt. Cassiano, he'll play it inside the 10. A quick play the ball as well. Smith cuts back to the left-hand side. Munster to the line. Brilliant.
What about that?
You can't believe you could produce a pass like that. Instead, there's going to be a penalty here to Melbourne for something in the play the ball from St George Illawarra.
Because the play the ball's unacceptable, okay?
Why did it take so long for the whistle to be blown if that's the case?
Bizarre. Cassiano plays the ball. Cameron McInnes all over him. Well, the play the ball was okay. He was grabbed a bit. Slater's pass.
What about that?
They deserve a try for that, Kev. They don't want to come back to the middle of the field for a penalty. That was
the defender, so you are getting the penalty. It's not playing with it because the ball never comes into play because there's no play the ball. That's the way we rule it, mate.
It is unusual, mate.
It is because of infraction from the offence. Well, I've explained it, mate. I can't debate it with you. I've explained it, Cameron. Cameron.
Yeah, we'll
Cameron Smith got the penalty. He might get marched 10 metres here.
Bucky, I need which way's going early next
we'll
time,
take
mate.
the try, thanks, Matt.
What are you doing,
we don't want to come back to the middle.
If there was a penalty, why did it take until after the try was scored for the whistle to be blown?
Time on.
That I will never understand.
And I don't think either of us can answer that.
They're going to tap and go here, the Storm.
Matt Checken is saying there was an infraction before the play the ball, which means the play the ball can't happen. But if there was an infraction, why didn't they blow the whistle?
Wait, Cameron.
That will be debated beyond this game, depending how this one pans out. Here's Slater giving it to Kafusi. Melbourne will feel, probably quite rightly so, they've been denied 4 points, maybe more. Get a chance at a do-over here. Here's Hoffman off Munster. He's only a metre out. He goes from dummy half himself, and Cameron Munster, there's no denying this one. He plants it down. And they will get their 4 points second time around.
Ash, on tackle 3, mate. I've got try. Just make sure he maintain possession, please, mate.
Well, the speed of the play the ball allowed Cameron Munster to go from dummy half. It looked good live, but the replay will show us whether, in fact, it's a try or not. He gets there in the end.
Is it a double movement?
Well,
he
does the
was
ball
short.
hit the ground, and was he?
His elbow's on the ground there, isn't it?
Yes. There's
Ash, just make sure that ball hits the deck.
Well, they're just going to make sure that the ball hits the deck, but from what I've seen in
as
this
can be seen
replay,
here, the ball carrying arm of Cameron Munster is on the ground, and Tyson Frizzell is completing a tackle.
no try.
It's now a secondary movement from Cameron Munster to promote the ball to the try line. We have a decision.
Thanks, mate.
There might be more chat coming up between Cameron Smith and the referees in a moment. Red lights. And they are filthy. The Melbourne Storm, off the back of what happened with the Addo-Carr try being disallowed for a penalty back to Melbourne in the middle of the field. And then Munster, quite correctly by the bunker, overturning Matt Checkin's on-field decision for a double movement. But
Yeah, well, the bunker got that one right. The bunker did get it right. I don't know if on-field are getting everything as they should be, the on-field officials. It's been a tough little period for them.
Now, fellas, hold, Cameron. Hold.
And the Dragons survived and didn't look likely, did they? See, that left shift again had St George in some trouble.
Hold.
and they survive. Not once, but twice the Dragons. The Bellin. Play it here on his own side of halfway. It comes to Frizzell, fires it out the back. They've barely got through a set of 6 themselves in recent times, and now Nightingale comes up with it. No, he knocked it on. Their completion rate is just disappearing over a cliff at the moment.
It was an offload in the tackle, wasn't it, that he tried to get away. Couldn't find his teammate. The ball went on the ground, and Addo-Carr, the speed of him again there to get to the ball first and put pressure on Nightingale, forced the error.
Well, they offer the Melbourne Storm another chance, Kev, and
They'll keep knocking the door down, won't they?
Well, I think they will. It's
Crucial change about to be made by Paul McGregor. Jack de Bellin coming from the field. Kurt Mann into that spot.
We've had some ball here at this end of the field. Melbourne. A penalty again. After the fact, what has happened? Is there a pause today between the two officials?
well, the information was just slow coming from the pocket referee. He made the call.
Yeah, I'm just telling you to make sure you're playing it right.
Here is Kafusi. Takes it inside the 20. Cameron Smith goes to Chambers. He's a long way there. The Dragons on their heels defensively at the moment. You get the impression Melbourne will crack them anytime soon. Here's Riley Jacks.
Jeremy.
They played a couple of metres out. Smith spins to Dale Finucane. Not much happening there, so they'll burn a tackle. They'll wrap up Finucane underneath the uprights. Play 5 coming up. They'll play it eventually. Smith spins it back to Jacks. They've still got numbers here. Now Kafusi on his right-hand side, showing it. Not much happening there. He'll play it with one more to come. Smith goes wide. Munster, good hands. Gives it to Slater. 3-on-3, a kick. Nightingale under pressure. They'll force him in the in-goal and get 6 more tackles.
Everyone's up.
The little skip there from Cameron Munster, it looked like it was enough to create some numbers on the edge there. They've looked dangerous every time they've been down this end and gone to the left side. Slater opts to kick, and they'll get it again. I'm just wondering if a pass might have been the best selection there.
Time you run.
Slater waiting. Back at the halfway line to make the catch here from Gareth Widdop. He'll Bowl one down the middle. Slater has to track across to get to it. That's for Nukin, who brings it back, and he runs hard and straight at McInnes. Good tackle by McInnes, holding his ground. Kurt Mann is out there for the Dragons, defending in that middle third. The pattern continues from Paul McGregor. Smith. Riley Jacks wrapping to the left-hand side. Here's a chance. Munster showing it, going himself. A bootlace tackle, a beauty as well, made out there by Jeremy Lattimore. What a save. Smith for Jacks. Here's Kafusi. Another legs tackle, this time made by Widdop. They're hanging on as they did on Anzac Day against the Roosters. Chambers has a dig, and nothing happening there for him. They've got one more play. Vunivalu, he goes from dummy half. He didn't get there, and the Dragons hang on again.
Do you think he was always planning to run from dummy half, or did he just take his eyes off the play the ball, and all of a sudden he realised the ball was there? Cameron Smith standing there. He wanted the footy. And they went close a couple of times, didn't they?
Yeah, some big one-on-one tackles there from the Dragons players. Widdop on this right side here against the Storm. A beautiful one-on-one tackle on Kafusi.
And it was Jeremy Lattimore on the other side of the field.
On Munster.
Yeah, on Munster. Big save from the front rower.
After all the effort on their own line, they work it away. Nightingale will play it. McInnes goes to Kurt Mann. Up against his old club here today. McInnes finds Widdop. Another ex-Stormer. Puts it in the air. Some pressure here on Slater, who had to adjust. He looked towards the men in front of him, took his eyes off the ball, and then had to adjust as the ball came to the ground. Boy, he was under pressure there from the Dragons as Addo-Carr will play it. Slater now at dummy half. Putting his teammates under pressure here. Getting there. Brandon Smith couldn't come up with it. He knocks it on, and St George Illawarra has it. I think both coaches and the referees are searching for half-time.
Well, they are. 3 minutes to go, and they haven't been down this end for an age. And now they get a penalty.
Well, you would think Gareth Widdop would saunter in and point towards the uprights. And they'll take the two every time they're in position here today. Take some time off the clock and a chance to make this an 8-point lead.
Yeah, just pushed the ball out, Billy. Couldn't get a conventional pass away and thought Brandon Smith was a bit closer than he was. They were able to come up with the bouncing ball, the Dragons, and then the penalty. But they soaked up some pressure. St George, if you're going to be a premiership winning side, if you're going to be one of the good sides, you've got to be able to defend your own line. They've shown that this year. Spent a lot of time defending their own try line against the Roosters on Anzac Day. There's no doubt the Melbourne Storm will feel robbed of a try. They've just got to get on with it as Widdop strikes it well.
Another beauty. Hits them as well as anybody in the competition at the moment. He makes it 12 points to 4. And Paul McGregor, 40 minutes away potentially from watching his team get the job done. 2 big games in a row against the Roosters on Anzac Day. He said that was a big test for us, but this is a big test also. Just have to prove that they've moved on from last year. And the man we saw there a moment ago, Ben Hunt, gets huge raps for what he's brought to this club. He said he's made Gareth Widdop a better player. He's made Cameron McInnes a better player, and it's no surprise they are all in the best form of their careers. Melbourne down by 8. The breeze at their backs as well. Smith puts it down to be brought back by Leeson Armour. Get away there from Kafusi, and just about did so as well. McInnes will go from dummy half and driving in low. Strong tackle by Brandon Smith, who really can hit above his weight. Lattimore will play it. McInnes for Tariq Sims. He's told Brad Fittler, if you want somebody with attitude for Origin, I'm the man. He's been living up to that sort of hype in recent weeks, but another mistake here. Kurt Mann puts it down this time. And they are barely completing above 60%, the Dragons, but still they lead by 8.
Well, Melbourne aren't much better. 10 from 17. And that's what they've been getting right over the last 3 weeks, where they've run in all those tries. Racked up some big scores in the last 3 rounds, the Melbourne Storm, but it's been on the back of their control. I think we know what both coaches will be saying at half-time.
Here's Slater. A touch there from Widdop, who knocks it down. They'll give Melbourne 6 more tackles, but it won't matter because there's barely 15 seconds on the clock. They need to try and form the scrum up here and stop the clock, and they'll get 1 play at them.
Same thing, don't swap at the time. We'll go back.
They have no discussion as they go to the sheds at half-time. Cameron Smith will walk over in the direction of the referees, and the discussion has been ongoing throughout the first half, will continue on.
Wait, Riley. Matt, in there. Cameron, you've got to get your head in. Shot clock off. In. Game on. Out.
From the back of the scrum, Smith fires it to Munster. He puts a kick in for Adokar over the top of Nightingale. It beats everybody into touch. And at the break, it might have been ugly at times, but all the locals care about is the scoreboard. It says the Dragons 12 points to 4. They're packed onto the hill. It's standing room only. The crowd of this magnitude, all but a full house. University of Wollongong Jubilee Oval. With its full title in 2018. The Melbourne Storm running into a slight nor'easter in this second half will get us underway. The defending premiers down by 8. Dufty looking for an option, doesn't find one, so has to take it himself. I don't know that was in his future when the kickoff blew. He'll play it there inside the 10. Dragons on top as they were against the Roosters on Anzac Day. They went on to the job there. That was the first part of the Quinella they were looking for. Back-to-back games in rounds 8 and 9 against the Roosters and the Storm. Whittam from dummy half. Comes across to this right-hand side. Kurt Mann against his old club, proving a handful there. Pokes his nose through the line and gets a quick play the ball. As a result, Frizzell was just about away. He had support flashing up. Well, then trying to milk a penalty. Dale Finucane will plead to the referee and say, well, what am I supposed to do there? We've seen a lot of that this season, haven't we?
We have. Some of it blatant. Here's the run from Frizzell in between the defenders. Got the arm free. Widdop begging for the ball, but I think Frizzell did the right thing. I don't think he was in a position there to pop it. And there's, well, Dale Finucane, he wasn't even in the ruck. He was out of the ruck.
I guess they could say he could have lied a bit flatter on the turf, maybe. Roll away. I don't know.
Here's Hunt. Yowie to Aitken, who gets drilled by Justin Olam. The 24-year-old on debut. A statement right there. He's involved in this tackle as well. Lattimore will play it 5 metres out. A chance, and it opens up for Cameron McInnes. The seas parted, and the hooker went straight through. Melbourne open up, and the Dragons, it's a comfortable lead now.
Well, Cameron Smith's on the ground here, and I was just wondering how the seas did part, because I think Cameron Smith made the tackle and didn't get up at mark, and all of a sudden there was a chance for Cameron McInnes. Here's the shot from Justin Olam on Ewan Aitken. Drilled him, and then just see Smith's down on the ground. And Cameron McInnes, you said his run identification is what's good about McInnes's game, and the moment Smith went down, bang, McInnes is off. Splits the defenders. Olam was one of them.
Yeah, and he doesn't need much space, does he? Very quick off the mark.
Just watch this, the action here. Lattimore pushes out, and then Cameron Smith just collapses to the turf.
Got a hit in where it hurts. Warren?
I think he did too. An unfortunate.
Yeah,
Wow.
boys, I can confirm it is an issue with the Glen Halls.
There he is, Cameron McInnes.
Didn't appear to be a lot in the contact as Lattimore reached out.
Sometimes it
hand, but
doesn't have to be. What?
no, that's exactly right. Here is Widdop. Right over the black dot. It left a hole in the Melbourne Storm defensive line, and McInnes went straight through. And it's a long way back for the Storm captain and his team now, and he is still in a deal of trouble, isn't he? Was there something before that contact, perhaps, in the tackle?
No, I don't think there was. I think you're underestimating how difficult it can be down there sometimes.
Very aware, Kevy, don't worry.
Wait till it, don't go early.
It was quite a bizarre way for the Melbourne Storm defence to open up.
Well, that's rare, isn't it, for him to concede a try like that, close to the line. They're normally all over that. So good work from the Dragons to spot the little space.
Here is the man who was involved in that incident with Cameron Smith. Lattimore losing it. And it gives Melbourne a chance to hit right back. But I think at the moment, if there were timeouts in rugby league, or Cameron Smith would be making the sign of a T with his hands.
Yeah, he's still struggling.
Really struggling, isn't he?
Just some contact there. Brandon Smith forces the error. Not what the Dragons wanted. Off the back of the Cameron McInnes try, they don't get through the set. He's... how's he going to get himself to dummy half, Kev?
Well, he won't be able to.
No.
They got
Brandon Smith.
Cassiano to get things going, and he turns it over. And the mistakes from both teams continue on from the first half, and they were barely completing at 65% each of them. Sam Cassiano just gives it straight back to the Dragons.
Well, down 18-4, they need to be good. They need to be very good, and Cassiano doesn't help things there.
No. They've virtually got to be error-free, haven't they, for this second half? Because the Dragons, as we know, we've seen in the first 40 minutes, their defence is quite good, their goal line defence.
Okay, shot clock off. Stay bound. Out.
It's fair to say that Sam has had an issue with his hands at times, looking for an offload. That wasn't one of those occasions, though. Loose grip on the ball. It came out very easily. And St George Illawarra off the back of it. Have it here, 20 short of the halfway line. They've extended their advantage by 6. They lead here 18 points to 4. Win number 8 of the season. A chance there to spread it on the left-hand side. Mann hangs on to it. Now Lattimore moves towards Cameron Smith and Brandon Smith. The skipper looks to be moving a little better at the moment. And now Widdop puts it up. Slater looking up towards it, just fading back towards the turf, slumping to the ground as he made the catch. And Tarek Sims coming down on top of him. Chambers in the brick wall there. It was Kurt Mann who stopped him as well. Catch there by Slater as he spins away from the charging Tarek Sims. That's hard to do. Now Adokar getting into dummy half. Knocked up there by Lattimore. Smith. Cassiano going with him. Didn't go in behind him, so it was play on. And Slater will play it here on his own side of halfway. Riley Jacks with that left boot. Under pressure from the inside there from Armour. Coming across. It's let bounce here. Back to Riley Jacks, who tried to pick it up one-handed. If he does so, he scores. Perhaps the better option was just diving on the ball.
Yeah, I can't understand Nene McDonald, who made the effort to get himself in a position to catch that footy. Well, he was all but there and then decided to let it bounce. Boy, that's a dangerous habit to get into.
Jacks flying through there on the replay. Had a chance to get them back into the contest. Here's Laffey brushing away from Chambers. Back on the inside for Widdop, who's taken the ground by Kafusi. He'll play it quickly. McDonald fires at Mann. Had Hunt in the way. Lattimore in the middle of the field. Didn't need him getting it at that point. With a long right-hand side set. They play it for McInnes. Here's Kurt Mann again. Heavily involved in attack and defence. And he did well there. Widdop, cut-out ball. It goes to Laffey. He runs towards them. Chambers will stop him just inside the 10. Now on the last, Widdop going back to the short side. Sims, he gives it back to Tim Laffey. Laffey dives in. It's the Dragons and then some at the moment.
Finding. Tackle 6, mate. Got try. Confirm touchline, touch and goal, please, mate.
Well, Nene McDonald has scored some remarkable tries with his ability to get the ball down. It's Tim Laffey who finds himself on the wing on this occasion.
Tim Laffey jumps from the field of play and grounds the ball in the goal area.
Tim Laffey. I don't think that happened by accident. It looked like they set up for that with Tariq Sims staying alive down that short side. And Laffey, well, after them spreading the ball and really having the Melbourne Storm on the back foot, they make the most of it. Oh, good stuff.
We see that play a lot in the modern game because there's so much work from Marco, chasing and the like, and just a simple reverse of the ball back to the short side. You see there.
He was ready for it, Sims, wasn't he? He was waiting for Widdop to come back to him. Shapes to kick open. They get a bit complacent down the short side. That drags Vunivalu in and opens up that space on the touchline.
Just watch them here. They get back in place, ready for the ball to come back to them. And Laffey has been a handful on that side of the field for Will Chambers all afternoon. Finally gets across the line. He's been threatening all afternoon, really.
Well, that is clever play. It was like clockwork, the way they all dropped back into position. Laffey was terrific. Nene McDonald impersonation there on the wing. Putting it down. We've seen McDonald do that a number of times already this season. Did it on Anzac Day in the first minute of the game against the Roosters. Now Widdop from the sideline. You back him in the way he's striking them. What a kick against his old club, really rubbing it in today. 24 points to 4. It's a big lead now, boys.
Yeah, certainly is. And down here on the sideline, a little bit of activity now. You can see the boys getting to their feet. James Graham's had ice on the back of his neck for the best part, I guess, of the last 20, 25 minutes. Paul Vaughan has not stopped moving. Jack de Bellin's up and about. And Reece Robson ready to make his debut as we rewind with Corey Parker. Nerves on debut for Robson. Take us back to yours.
Well, I think he'll be okay at the moment. They're 24-4 up, so he'll be looking forward to get out there and get an early touch. But real interesting time here for the Melbourne Storm. Haven't found themselves in this position for a long time, so we'll wait and see what happens. At half-time, there was a strong message from the coach and the captain about ball control. They haven't started that way in the second half, and the scoreboard is suggesting so.
Boy, there's a frisson of excitement around this ground now, suddenly realising here they are against the defending champions and they lead them by 20 and there's a long way to go.
There is, which makes you wonder whether they can increase that or it gives you the Melbourne Storm enough time to get themselves back into it.
Frizzell loses the ball here. It's going to be a penalty against Melbourne. Cameron Munster, according to the referees, couldn't help himself and eased it away from Tyson Frizzell.
Well, we said when Sam Cassiano dropped the ball off on tackle 1 from the Melbourne Storm scrum win about 5 minutes ago that they need to be perfect to get themselves back in the game. And again, the lack of discipline there from Cameron Munster.
Well, it's foreign territory, really, isn't it, for the Storm to be down 24-4.
Good shot.
He can hit with the best of them. An advantage having him back today. Now Kurt Mann turns it over. He appealed for a 2-on-1 strip. Brandon Smith dodging out a tackle. Still going, Brandon Smith. He's a bulldog, isn't he? Terrific player. Signed for a handful of seasons to come for Melbourne. And
Back of the
There's a
head.
penalty, some pressure on the back of the head. There's the call there from Matt Checken on Brandon Smith. Cameron Smith comes in to kick the line, and they need something in a hurry just to prove that they are still a factor as much as anything in this contest. Ryan Hoffman works it forward, had it free for an offload, nobody was there. Reels it back in, plays it for Smith. Here's for Nukin, looking to his outside. Nelson Asifo-Solomona had a mixed opening to the game, and he's back out there now. So is Christian Welsh. Shows it a couple of times on that right-hand side. Not much happening for him, so he'll take the tackle. Smith looks towards Jacks. He's got Munster out the back here. Slater was deep. Steps off the left foot, runs to Ben Hunt. Terrific contact. And the locals here at Cogra enjoyed that. There's a penalty, though. Some contact on the head or neck there of Slater on the ground.
Yeah, that was Tyson Frizzell again, who was penalised for hands on the back of the head of Brandon Smith. Frizzell came in to help out Ben Hunt. Good initial contact by Hunt, and then Frizzell just wrapped the arms around the neck of Billy Slater, and that's what the penalty was for.
Almost a head slamming action there from Tyson Frizzell, ruling by the referee. Asifo-Solomona playing in front of the uprights for Nukin, charging hard but well stocked. His goal line defence been outstanding all season, under pressure here again, but they keep denying Melbourne. Asifo-Solomona stopped there. Frizzell was underneath. Smith, an intercept taken here by McInnes, who heads away and takes it down to almost the 40. He'll play it quickly. Now Sims. They take it across the halfway line. What work on the goal line. It was Dufty who came up with the intercept. And now Nightingale weaving, finds Cameron Smith, who gives it straight back to Billy Slater.
Up now, Matt, let's go.
Gareth Widdop's gone down, boys.
He pulled out of that tackle there. He's hobbled out position.
Here is Justin Olam running towards Ben Hunt. Widdop out there on the left-hand side. Looks to be moving a little bit better now. Now Munster. Brings it back to the halfway line. Hoffman gets the dummy half. Smith keeps it going. Jacks for Chambers. Somehow Widdop is moving here. That was unconvincing. And then Kaufusi. He got the Kaufusi crunch from Tarek Sims. What a tackle from behind. He appeared from out behind a tree. Munster. Slater back on the inside. Sees some space. Kicks. The pass, though, was forward. And then Billy, in frustration, tried to kick the sign, almost ran into it.
Well, I think he was worried about colliding into the storm, into the sign rather, but I think the crowd called this one. A flat pass again. Just a bit rattled at the moment, the Melbourne Storm. The Dragons' defence has been up for most of the little trick shots today.
Boys, I read an article during the week from Paul Vaughan and Tyson Frizzell, and they mentioned that they've shown the Storm too much respect in recent times. It's certainly not the way here this afternoon.
Now they are ready for this on certain terms. Paul McGregor, in the lead up to this game, said they had to prove they could win last week. And they had to prove again today that they could win here against Melbourne. He remembers how they were blown off the park down there in Wollongong in round 9 in 2017. It's a different story here today by a long, long stretch. Now Widdop running away from Kaufusi, gives it off to Laffey. He cuts back towards the middle of the field, looking for something. Ryan Hoffman comes in to close it down, couldn't do so. Lisa now bounces off McInnes. Watching a pinball machine in action. The red and white pinball machine for a moment there. Here's McInnes. Run from behind by Asifo-Solomona. They've got one more play. They'll go to the short side. He had success there not that long ago. The kick. Smith spins around, looks up. He had visions of taking him back into the in goal, but he gets to the turf in time. And Melbourne have to work it away from their own line.
That was a clever kick from Gareth Widdop. He's so good with his feet, whether it's left or right. He is a right footer, but can kick equally as good with his left, and that was what he did there. Just hooked it back across the ruck, away from Billy Slater, forcing Cameron Smith to pick it up.
Justin Olam playing it. Haven't seen too much of him as yet. Comes from the villages high in the mountainside, Papua New Guinea. He said they used to fill a Coke bottle with some old grass and stuff it to make it a bit heavier so they could play footy. That's how he learnt to play footy. They used to walk 3 hours each way just to go and watch a game across the top of mountains to the other side, and then have to walk 3 to 4 hours back to their village to get home again.
Let go! It's commitment, isn't it? At its best.
It's paid off for the 24-year-old who played for PNG in the World Cup in 2017. Now McDonald, speaking of the World Cup, Papua New Guinea, who'll play it here on Melbourne side of halfway. McInnes goes to Graham. What's happening there? It's like that neck problem that he had ice on the back of not that long ago is going to be something he'll need to manage for a bit to come here in this 2018 season. Phillips' pass off the ground there was okay as far as not being after the tackle, but he found Asifa Solomona.
No, that's a couple of times now. Widdop and Jason Nightingale finding Melbourne Storm players with their offloads.
Christian Welsh. Not much happening there. I would say that about Melbourne in general at the moment. Just can't get something going. There's Hoffman. His pass to Olam there looked forward. Just the fact that it was behind him, it gave that impression, but it was close. Smith goes wide. Here's Jax. Kafusi. Really stagnant defensive line on this occasion. Vunivalu puts a kick in behind. Widdop, though, is there to clean up. There's a shot for his trouble and gets taken into touch. That will be all in the one movement, and Melbourne get the chance they've been looking for.
Boy, that was heavy contact from Vunivalu. Nice kick. Difficult situation there, running and kicking, and then Widdop.
With the full body weight.
Oh yeah, boy.
And then some.
Stay on the ground. Don't try and get up. I think this gave Vunivalu a chance to shove him across the sideline.
Melbourne get the scrum, don't forget, following this game. Big one between the Roosters and the Sea Eagles from Allianz Stadium this afternoon. Our second of 2 games on the NRL Sunday Ticket, live right here and ad-free during play on Fox League. Smith from the back of the scrum when Munster goes to Slater. Olam charging at them. Tries to find a gap there, a close between Hunt and also Frizzell. Slater moving it back to Asifa Solomona. They'll play it here just 5 metres out as Slater waits again. Vunivalu going back to the right wing. The pass from Slater at dummy half has been ruled forward. They have found some ways today to turn it over.
There's been a string of forward passes from the Storm. Billy Slater guilty of a couple.
Of those line ball ones today. Storm like to play nice and flat out of dummy half, and there's the crowd today, 19,173. Great crowd in to see their footy team. There's not much purple in the crowd. Brandy, can you see much?
Not much, Kev. Not many vacant seats either. It's just about full.
Okay, boys, wind up. Dust it around your mate.
He hazard a guess and say that capacity would be maybe 19,500 at most.
We're all but.
There aren't too many seats, as you mentioned, available perhaps only at that northern end. Jubilee. Here's McDonald. Play it at the Dragons 20. And still lead comfortably. 20 points is the buffer with just over 19 minutes remaining. McInnes out of dummy half. Release. Play it here for Widdop. And the short side they go. Release and Armau. And pops the ball out the back. It goes from Widdop to Tim Laffey. Christian Welsh gets to him. And they'll have one more play here. McInnes looking to his right-hand side. Widdop out the back. Off the right boot. Try and lob it over the head of Josh Adokar, who gets back to take it on the full. He'll just lope back towards them. Put a Kalen Ponga step on, a little skip. Nobody was falling for it. Leeson Armour was there along with James Graham.
It's something that he does regularly, though, the little skip before he hits the line. And the other player from the Melbourne Storm that does that tries to work in his favour is Cameron Munster. He'll skip as he comes to the line to try and get himself on the outside.
Here he is. A little side settle movement back in and away. Oh, square dance as he came across the 40-metre line. He gave it off to Wallam, who'll play it here. Adokar from dummy half finds Munster. Smith in the line. Bromwich just chasing hard. Not much movement there. It was all sideways. No progress from Melbourne. Nobody going to the line asking a question. Munster does, though. Cut out ball. He goes to the Fox. He's not a Fox. He's a Ferrari. How many gears does he have? And he scores perhaps the try that gives Melbourne a sniff.
Well, there's plenty of time left for us. 18 minutes left on the clock. He scores his second try, Josh Adokar, of the afternoon. That makes it 10 for the season. And did a great job to pull that ball in from Munster, who really imposed himself on that set. Just watch inside, outside, beats Frizzell and then lobs it over the top. He pulled that in one-handed.
He caught it one-handed.
What was he doing with his right hand?
He was waiting to put it down with the other hand. Look, he's a tremendous athlete, isn't he? Great work from Munster as well. But really, that's catching it in the backyard and running it around and putting it behind the clothesline. Yeah, unbelievable stuff.
It was a terrific ball from Munster, right in his lap.
Might just be what the Storm need. Get them going again. What a player. The Fox.
My number 10 this season. 39th in his career and the 11th multi-try game of his career. It's all going to be good, the kicks from now on. This one well wide from Cameron Smith. And we're still inconvenienced by that earlier knock. 24-8, 16 down here, Andy.
Yeah, twice in the last 3 or 4 minutes, Cameron Munster's done a bit of a number on Tyson Frizzell on this side of the field with that little in and away movement. When Munster runs, Melbourne looks so much the better side. Riley Jacks, I think we all agree, is probably the more consistent, more conservative halfback, not so much the runner. Munster's got to fill that role for the Storm to be successful.
Needed a spark from somewhere. Munster has certainly provided it. It's a long way back here, although after what we saw last night down there at Shark Park, the Eels almost getting away with one against the Sharks after being down by plenty. You just never say never. Certainly not when Melbourne have the points in them that we know they have. Bromwich working it forward here, playing at 15 short of the halfway line. Cameron Smith held up there in a good tackle made by Paul Vaughan. Great work from Marker. Welch goes to Munster. Going to split them again. He's getting it forward and taking some metres out of this right-hand side of the Dragons' defensive line. The pass wasn't great for Jacks. Some pressure there from Hunt. A floating kick coming forward. Some sort of catch. Matt Duffy just poured onto that and took it like it was a training session.
That was a great kick and a very awkward one to take on the run. Floating goes to Nightingale. Good strong run.
Now McInnes goes to Paul Vaughan looking for an offload. Smith was there poised from the intercept as well. He sensed the chance there was something coming. The Bellin works it forward. They'll play it here just inside the Melbourne 30. 2 more tackles left in this set. Hunt now out the back, goes to Duffy. Gives it off to Aitken, who spins away from the Hoffman tackle. Went straight past everybody! Ewan Aitken just keeps on finding ways to score for the Dragons.
They're going to go upstairs because he did run behind one of his players, but I don't think the defence was affected. But let's have a look.
Try, mate. Confirm there's no obstruction, please, pal. Yep.
Just look as he comes back in field. Tyson Frizzell standing in front of him there. Defence up on the outside, forces him back inside. No. I think and no one really was inconvenienced.
There's no obstruction. There's no Melbourne player denied the opportunity to defend the play. And Ewan Aitken grounds the ball in the in-goal area. We have a decision.
He had so many issues with injuries in the past 12 months. Hamstring problems that just wouldn't come right. Shoulder reconstruction as well. And he's carrying them on his shoulders at times. In 2018, he makes it a 20-point lead once again.
Terrific work, wasn't it, from the Dragons again? Buildup and Hunt, they're the two link men. Not a real lot happening here for him, but he makes something of it. Finds a little bit of space and just too powerful. The leg drive through, 2 missed tackles from the Melbourne Storm. Powerful unit out on that right edge for the Dragons. You write that one down, Greg?
Already down, Kevy. Didn't need to see him today.
No, he's been in great touch for the Dragons. Such a powerful runner.
Just another one in the mix.
It is. 7 tries for the Dragons.
And they're in full voice now. They are loving this here.
Stay behind.
Listen to them. The Saints go marching in all right. 30 points to 8. What a sound that must be. In the suburban area. Might be at home. Oh, then Gareth Widdop. What happened there? He stopped and didn't realise that Vunivalu was behind him.
Vunivalu had chased the kick and come in around behind him, and he stopped, not realising. And just watch him stop here. Replay box will show just the jolt that he got. And while that was happening, the Storm give away a penalty.
I'll get a second one then. Tariq.
The song continues on. Here at Cogra. Laurie Jacks on the defensive line waiting. Tim Laffey to take it forward. 30 points to 8. Hard to see that sort of scoreline either way coming here today. They have passed this test. Perhaps this final test and the final frontier with flying colours. And they're not done with yet. Not by a long stretch. Hunt searching out towards Aitken once again. He'll play it here 5 metres out. Dufty goes to Frizzell. Works towards the uprights. And a chance back on that left-hand side where they're set now. McInnes, though, Grubbers in behind them looking for 6 more tackles. Goes to Josh Adokar. Vaughan grabs him by the scruff of the neck and says, "You're not going anywhere."
Runs up, start the shot clock. Short kick off, Bucky, go. Time your run.
Cameron Smith dropping it out, looking for the sideline. Can't find it. It'll go down to Tim Laffey, who will bring it back. I realise time is of the essence for Melbourne. 12 remaining. They're down by 22. Jack DeBella will bring it back. Take it inside the Storm 20. You like their chances on this right-hand side.
Oh, good shot there. Cassiano jolted and finished him off too.
Must have gone close to giving away a penalty there. James Graham flings it out the back. It misses everybody but Melbourne. We're offside. And you'd imagine, despite the big scoreline, they'll make this a 24-point lead from beside the uprights.
Well,
Jack.
That's just what the Dragons do, don't they? It's been in their DNA since Wayne Bennett, 2009.
They haven't dropped off. And they'll enjoy this, using up the clock. Last week as well against the Roosters. Took the 2. And this for a lead of 4 converted tries.
they have been the dominant team in the second half, haven't they? Storm, not quite the start they were wanting in this second half, and the Dragons got a bit of a sniff of that.
Reece Robson ready to go. What a dream day for your debut. A packed home ground. A big win as Gareth Widdop puts another 2 onto the Dragons tally. But Robson, young kid from the Wollumbar, played New South Wales age footy, a junior kangaroo, and is going to walk onto the field to debut against arguably the best hooker we've seen in Cameron Smith. And they're doing it well, the Dragons.
That they are. Attended Denisale Caringbah just down the road. Here he is. There's a Dragon about to come onto the field for the first time in the NRL. Cameron Smith.
Stay behind.
Get us back underway. Kick. Chased there by Vunivalu, who comes back for Slater, who picked up the loose ball. Some space to move in here. He hasn't given up the ghost as yet, and he'll play it just outside the Dragons 20. Put some turf up as well. Asifa Solomona. 12 metres out. Smith getting to dummy half. And goes to Kenny Bromwich. Cassiano following on. They'll play it just 3 metres out. Smith for Cameron Munster. Comes back to Slater. Another bullet-like pass. Addo Carr for a hat-trick. No. It was another forward touch, but it was another forward pass between that combination.
Well, they
Check everyone's up again.
just got the timing wrong today, and it rarely happens. As you said, Kev, last forward pass that was picked up, they like to play flat, and normally they get it right. Oh, not today. I think that's four forward passes.
Yeah, well, that one's forward as well. Not a lot of room for the Fox to work in there either. Even when he did catch it, he ended up about 4 rows back.
All right, boys, let's go. Jack around you, mate.
They've got players to return from injury, and Jesse Bromwich and also Tim Glasby. They certainly helped their cause, Melbourne, but they have been off song on the opening exchanges today. Their defence was loose around the middle. The Dragons got on top early and haven't taken their foot off the throat from that point on. They've got at the back, and then Widdop got cleaned up by Nelson Asifa Solomona, and he may have a big problem.
Players down, timeout.
Well, Widdop got up. Asifa Solomona hit him with everything. Off the pass, goes for the space, and then he just got his arm up just to protect the contact. It was high, but Widdop just got that right arm up to stop Solomona taking his head off.
Yeah, it was falling as well. Straight away, Solomona knew he was in a bit of trouble. Widdop got up, which is great news for him.
Without that forearm fend from Widdop, it's clean contact, and I think Asifa Solomona goes straight from the field. Sam Cassiano, a problem with the hooter. And they'll off for a concussion test at the back end of this game. And them tumbling over the top of him. And the ball came out the back, and Widdop was there. He's still stripping very fit though, isn't he, Sam? Has a different body shape than what we've seen with the Bulldogs in past seasons. But for the moment, taking him up the tunnel to look after that nose. Penalty given away by Asifa Solomona for the contact on Widdop. The Dragons. There's still time. A try or two here. Without question today, they have cemented themselves as the favourites for this year's title. They've conquered the final challenge pretty comfortably as well here this afternoon. Graham playing it. The two teams will meet again as Widdop goes down the short side. Here's Laffey ducking into the tackle there from Asifa Solomona. They'll meet again in round 17, but it's an Origin-affected game right before Origin 3. 6 days out from Origin 3, in fact. And I dare say, given the form of both teams, there'll be players on both sides missing that return encounter. Here's Whittup. Goes to Hunt, out the back. Dufty, cut-out ball. Nightingale stepping. Spun into touch there by Justin Olam. And then Nightingale resented something in the tackle. He wanted to bounce back to his feet and go on with things here.
Shot clock starts.
You don't see that too often from the veteran.
Well, the same set play that saw Aitken jump and duck back inside. He kept going to the outside this time, and not much room there. Addo-Carr slides past, but Olam and Munster were close enough to make sure they got there. A lot of hugging and...
Not sure what that's all about, but...
Not much. No.
Just a little...
Pretty happy.
Little shove on the back of the head while he was on the ground there from Olam. You don't see that every time somebody goes across the sideline. Mason, perhaps given the scoreline, 32 points away, thought he wasn't entitled to be dishing out that sort of punishment. Joe Stimson is out there now for Melbourne. Little flat pass. This one's okay. That one was more than flat. Addo-Carr runs towards Dufty. He takes him down. Aitken is there to make the tackle. Olam fires it to Munster. Goes to Smith. Riley Jacks goes towards the line. Smith to Chambers. On the inside here for Vunivalu. He comes back. Slater wheels. Puts on a skip himself. He probably wishes he hadn't. He went straight into Tariq Sims. Kafusi for Jacks. Now Smith. Come back out to Cameron Munster. Olam a chance. Gives it to Addo-Carr. And he has a hat-trick. Off the back of Cameron Munster again. They're quite the combination.
Well, Munster got it started at the other end of the field, or certainly the other side of halfway, where he just shoved away from Ewan Aitken. They made ground, they shifted to the right, and then they come back with a big shift to the left, and Munster again involves himself to Olam. Nice flick pass on debut from Justin Olam, and Josh Addo-Carr, well, he gets a hat-trick. They're on the wrong side of it, but Addo-Carr gets 3 tries.
Yeah, pretty impressive from the young winger, but the Storm have done this most of the day. Like to shift across the field and try and stretch the Dragons' defence. And I guess when you got speed like this man on your flanks, you want to get the ball to him as much as you can. And he made that look so simple, Addo-Carr, but he's on the right spot again, and his timing on the pass was a good little flick from Olam onto him. Building quite a tally there, isn't he?
Well, 3 tries takes him up to 11. Fusatua was 11 coming into this round. He scored last night. He scored in their win over the Tigers, so he's jumped to 12. But it's been an afternoon for Addo-Carr, and it was Addo-Carr and Munster that started things the other side of halfway to get the Dragons on the back foot.
Tough afternoon in lots of ways for Cameron Smith. This one hanging in the breeze. It has the length to scrape across the crossbar and make it 32 points to 14 with 4 minutes remaining here. The 3rd career hat-trick for Josh Addo-Carr, who can do no more than put his hand up for a Blues jersey given what he's done so far this season. Jack de Belin gets an early mark. Another successful day in the middle of the field. 11 runs, 105 metres. Some offloads as well. And plenty of tackles once again.
Thanks, mate.
Got the knock to the thigh in the first half. Cameron Smith on a kick. Got the knock a little bit higher than that from Jeremy Lattimore in the second half.
Move now! Hold, fellas, hold, wait.
Well, and you would have to think, in hindsight, that was the try that really...
Here they go again. Stimson this time off the inside ball from Justin Olam, who supplied some nice passes. It's probably likely just a one-shot deal here for Justin Olam, with Curtis Scott likely to be back next week as the Dragons take on the Titans up there in the first of the double headers at Suncorp on Saturday night. Some nice hands here at the back end of the game. Asif Solomona stopped just outside the 20. Munster down the short side again. His pass picked up by Brandon Smith. That was clever. Taken down, though, by Tarek Sims. Couldn't clean him up completely. Oh, and then he was coming back looking for the big impact. Smith popped it out the back, and the Dragons have it.
He's a live wire Brandon Smith, isn't he? He's playing through that middle. Hooker by trade, but in the Melbourne Storm system, he's been playing a lot through that middle. He's just looks like a real player.
Paul McGregor watching on. Surely couldn't be any more satisfied than he must be at the moment. An 8-1 record through the first 9 weeks of the competition. And if this was the final test, well, they have passed it with flying colours.
There's plenty more to come.
There's a bit to go between now and September. They've established their credentials in no uncertain terms.
Yeah, but I guess what's happened to them in the last couple of weeks has even put them even more in the limelight. Good win over the Roosters, and again here today. Long way to go, but they've been pretty impressive today.
Well, that man has made such a difference. At one stage, relegated to reserve grade at Brisbane last year. And having long been signed before that by St George Illawarra, there were Dragons fans wondering what the admin had done. But here he is. And he is the straw that stirs the drink with Widdop and Cameron McInnes and Matt Duffy in fullback. What a spine they've become.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure on Ben Hunt too. There was a lot of talk about him last year, and the fact that he was struggling a little bit for form, and he was moved to the bench and to hooker and played a Queensland Cup game last year.
That was the sealer for him to get himself into Origin, that performance in the Intrust Super Cup.
It doesn't matter, Queensland, they can play reserve grade, doesn't matter.
Well, it's been done before. I'm sure there's been, well, Arthur Beetson was pulled out of
yeah, there's been a couple.
The standard was set very, very early when it came to the Maroons and Origin. And the Dragons will finish here with the ball in their hands. Hunt playing it. And it's Robson getting out of dummy half. That's a touch in the big time. They'll play it back to Hunt. He has on his right-hand side some 30 metres of space. Is Ewan Aitken. He takes the carry. And they've got 11 players out there on that left-hand side. Widdop puts a kick in, trying to lob it over the head of Vunivalu. He'll go to ground, and that might just about do us here today.
Get in position. Rush, mate. We've got players on side. Let me know when they're
Slater
on.
wants to take a quick drop out, but at 32 points to 14.
Don't go early. Don't go
We'll
early.
count down the final few seconds here. The Red V faithful, I dare say a lot of them will march across the road to the Leagues Club. There'll be some sort of celebration here tonight.
Well, they've deserved it. Big crowd.
Whenever you're ready, Cam.
Over 19,000. Been a great afternoon here at Cogra. The home fans and the home team.
The dropout goes out on the full, and you can get the party started now because they're on their feet here at Cogra. The final indignation for Melbourne will be 2 points from underneath the black dot. There was so much hype about this contest, and there's been hype about the Dragons, but you can believe it, in 2018 they are the real deal.
No, I think Corey Parker said something about the two players, Sims and Vaughan, said they paid too much respect to the Melbourne Storm. They won't be doing it this year. I think there's a real belief amongst this Dragons outfit that they are the best.
They might have proven that for the time being right here today. What a win. A 20-point victory over last year's champions. 34 points to 14. And it was one-way traffic from early on. They led comfortably at the break and went on with the job. The Melbourne Storm couldn't match them in the middle of the field early on. And they did a job as well on the edges either side of halftime. A tremendous performance